Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Riser Fall to talk about Thursday night football. This game a month ago had all the bells and whistles, JT versus Javante, and it's going to be outstanding. But unfortunately, Jonathan Taylor is not active today. Unfortunately, Javante tore up his knee, and I know me and everybody here at Riser Fall wishes Javante the best, but the world still spins. This game will still go on. They're not going to cancel the game because two of the youngest, brightest superstar running backs in the game are inactive here. But when we look at this one, there's a lot to like about it. And I'm telling you right now, I feel like people are going to show up to my front door with pitchforks after I say what I have to say. Before we get into all that, and it's going to be wild, I'm telling you. And you're probably going, well, what the heck could Chris possibly say that would be weird and wild? Trust me, I have something up my sleeve. Before we get into that, just make sure you go to the website at Team Riser Fall. When you get there, use promo code BEASTIE. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services, and that includes everything, right? The Study Hub, which now includes game flow tabs, 3-4 man favorite stack tools, all of that, rankings, projections, ownership percentage. I mean, if you're playing NFL DFS and you're not part of Team Riser Fall, then I don't know what the heck you're doing. We've had $1 million winner. We have people winning hand over fist almost every night, and baseball's still going on. The NHL is right around the corner. The NHL's already played 6 or 7, maybe even 8 preseason games, so NHL is right around the corner, and so is NBA. We're about to enter that sweet spot in the year where everything is rolling at once. And if you get overwhelmed easily, or you just want a little help, you want a little nudge, a little bump, get it from Team Riser Fall. Use promo code BEASTIE and we will see you there. Now let's talk about this game. Indy at Denver. The Colts go to Mile High Stadium. We know that's long been an issue where guys who are sick or under the weather, they don't travel with the team because it's you're so high above sea level here. But I don't see any of that rolling here. But there are a few weird things going on in this game because Jonathan Taylor is not inactive. Javante is done and on IR for the rest of the season. So let's talk about the quarterbacks briefly. Matt Ryan, Ryan Wilson. Russell Wilson, and Matt Ryan. When you look at Matt Ryan, Denver, 4th overall against opposing quarterbacks. He's 15 grand on FanDuel, and on DK, he's 14-4 here. And one thing I want to point out in this one as we go through it, the DVP, defense versus player, right? We got 3 or 4 weeks worth of data here. Denver's 4th against opposing quarterbacks here, and if you've watched a Denver Broncos game so far this season, they're going to make life a living hell for Matt Ryan, who's already hasn't looked that good. Yeah, they beat Kansas City, but he turned back into a pumpkin last week. And if you're a Colts fan, my apologies. Even I had high expectations for Matt Ryan going into this one, and he hasn't lived up to the billing. He hasn't lived up to what we're trying to do here, what Indianapolis is trying to do. As we move down the list, Russell Wilson at home hosting the Colts. The Colts are 15th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Russ Wilson 16-5 on FanDuel. On DK, in a flex spot at least, Russell Wilson is $10,400. Of the quarterbacks, obviously it would have to be Russ Wilson, but yet again, another beastie single game slate, another move to fade both quarterbacks, and I think we can get away with it here in this one here. And we all saw the Subway commercial. That was weird. That was strange, but don't let that deter you from the fact that Russell Wilson might get a little action done with his legs in this one, because if Indy, breaks contain or they can't hold the edges here, Russ Wilson might take off a little bit. Russ has been, made famous. He made his name famous for, plays breaking down and him getting after it and looking downfield for a receiver when things break down. As we go down the list, we look at the Indianapolis Colts running backs, and it's very grim. Once you take out JT, we're looking at Nyheim Hines, Phillip Lindsay, or this young kid, Dion Jackson, who I'm very high on this evening. But any way you slice it, Denver, 6th overall against opposing running backs here. So, it looks as though Nyheim Hines is going to be the lead back. Phillip Lindsay is going to get some run. And as I said, so is Dion Jackson here. So which way are we going to go? I want to tell you, right now on FanDuel, Nyheim Hines is $11,000. And at that price tag, sorry, but I don't want any part of Nyheim Hines at 11 grand. And it's like they finally, they wised up, FanDuel wised up, because they know the ownership percentage of Hines today is going to be through the roof, because what other options do we have at the running back spot for the Colts? And on DK, Nyheim Hines is 6'8". One thing I will say, a little bright spot here, Phillip Lindsay is only $400 on DK, but on FanDuel, Phillip Lindsay is 7.5. That's the range I feel comfortable. That's $7,500 to $8,000 range for any running backs here this evening, right? Because as we move down the list, Melvin Gordon III, 12.5 on FanDuel. Mike Boone, the waiver wire darling, he is $9,000. And Latavius Murray was just added from the who was it? The New Orleans Saints practice squad. So he's going to lace him up and play running back today in this game here. So of the three, everybody's going to flock towards Melvin Gordon III. You know, how can I tell you no? When you look at Melvin Gordon, as I said, 12.5 on FanDuel. On DK, Melvin Gordon is $8,800. The one bright light here is the Indianapolis Colts are 18th overall against opposing running backs. And so far, you know, Darius Leonard, the maniac, the one of the best linebackers in the game, can't stay on the field this year. He was out for the first few weeks of the season. His first game back after an extended absence, he gets a concussion in like the first half of the game, and as it stands now, as I'm recording this, I don't think Leonard has been cleared, and I don't think Leonard will be cleared to play in this one. So with him off the field, Denver can do a little bit more, because we all know Leonard, he's sideline to sideline going nuts here. So as we move down the list, Mike Boone, Latavius Murray, I just want folks to know, if you're going to use Mike Boone, I think we're going to see a little, how can I put this? I wrote it down here. We're going to see a little of that seasonal hype, that charm kind of spill over from seasonal formats into DFS formats, right? Again, and correct me if I'm wrong here, if you play in seasonal redraft or dynasty formats and you missed out on your waiver claim for Mike Boone, a lot of folks are going to kind of fill that void with adding Mike Boone on DFS formats. And fair enough, you know, I get that here, but let's temper our expectations. As I said, Boone is $9 grand on FanDuel, and on DK, Mike Boone is $6,200. The price tag is right, the price tag fits, but in a way, I can't believe I'm about to say this, free square. When you see DFS, I think Mike Boone tonight is going to be a free square. When we look at the wide receivers, this is where it gets really dicey, because Denver is first overall against opposing wide receivers. Indy is fourth overall against defending opposing wide receivers. So you're like, well, Chris, what way are we going to go? What way are we going to go? I have an idea. I'll wait to the end of the broadcast, but let's go through a couple wide receivers briefly. Michael Pittman Jr., he is the Colts stud here. He's 14 grand on FanDuel, and on DK, Michael Pittman is $10,600. You know what you're going to get out of him? Probably in a game like this without JT, you're going to see double-digit targets, 6-7 receptions, 80, maybe 90 yards, but every yard that these Indianapolis Colts wide receivers gain are going to be hard fought and tough because of the Broncos linebacking core, because of the Broncos secondary. They are ball hawking, they're opportunistic, and it's going to be a sight to be seen, right? We talked about the last few games, Sunday night or Monday night, you know, when it was like 10-11 or it was a field goal game. I'm not predicting that here, but there could be a chance for that to happen. Alec Pierce is on the map. Paris Campbell, Ashton Doolin. Alec Pierce, he's became a darling of Colts, you know, fans in training camp, And Alec Pierce, 7.5 on FanDuel, and on DK, he is only, I have my super secret notes. Alec Pierce is $5,400. And then when we look at guys like Ashton Doolin or Paris Campbell, that's up to you. Of the two, I would probably lean on Ashton Doolin just because he's only 6'5 on FanDuel. He's a little bit cheaper than most, and we'll get what we get out of him. As we go down, as we look at the Denver Broncos wide receivers, Cortland Sutton's been absolutely awesome, right? He's been peppered with targets. Where does that leave Judy, KJ Hamler, and even a little bit of Kendall Hinton, which shouldn't be on your map? But when we look at Sutton, 13 grand on FanDuel. On DraftKings, Cortland Sutton is $9,400. I love that spot. I love that price tag, at least on DraftKings. On FanDuel, 13 grand is a little high, but again, what else do we have going on? And I would imagine if JT was active here, if Javonte was active here, we wouldn't see such high prices on FanDuel. And we've long, I know I have, when we've done these videos, and even on social media, people hammer these formats. They haven't caught up to the price, use it or lose it, use him now before the price tag goes up. Well, FanDuel hurt us, at least for this game here. And Jerry Jeudy is 12 grand on FanDuel, and on DK, Jerry Jeudy is $7,800. So a lot of these guys, a lot of these price tags, I'm liking better on DraftKings. And I know a lot of you are DK players. I know a lot of you are FanDuel players, and most of us are both. We across the board, we love it. KJ Hamler probably won't be nothing going on. 2-3 targets, 1-2 receptions, 15 yards maybe, if that. I really want to attack this slate, and this is where it's going to get weird. I promised you some weirdness or some wildness at the start of the video here. This is where it gets weird. I have a few ideas, and I can finally let them loose now. The way to attack this slate here would be through the tight ends. I know that's stupid. That's crazy. There's no Kelsey, there's no Waller, there's no stud tight end here. So why would we do that? I'm making that decision just based on DVP. As I said, Denver's first against wide receivers. Indy's fourth against wide receivers. Same thing could be said for quarterbacks and running backs. But when we look at the Denver Broncos, they are 18th overall against opposing tight ends. So Mo Alley Cox, very much in play. Of all the players on the slate, and especially after what Mo Alley did last week, he scored twice. I think a case could be made for Mo Alley Cox in our MVP captain spot here. And let me walk you through this briefly. Mo Alley Cox is 8 grand on FanDuel. On DK, Mo Alley Cox, he is $4,800 on DK. So to me, Mo Alley Cox, as it stands right now, is my favorite play on the slate, aside from the defense and kickers. I know, isn't that crazy? That was my wildness. And as we go down, Kyle Granson, he might get a little run. He's 6'5" on FanDuel, nothing crazy there. But then again, for the Denver Broncos, Albert OK, Indy's 27th overall against opposing tight ends, and Albert only $6,500 on FanDuel. On DK, Albert is $2,800. Another guy we'll mention here, just in case, because again, I believe that the Colts and the Denver Broncos wide receivers are kind of stifled here. I could make a case for Eric Saubert right here. He is only 5 grand on FanDuel, and on DK, Eric is only $1,200 here. Again, it sounds odd, it sounds crazy, but to me personally, and you're able and you're free to do as you please here, but I'm attacking this game through the tight ends and through the DSTs. That's nuts, right? And you add in a little kicker here, and with such a lack of star power in this game, I don't think a lot of people are thinking that way. People are going to want to force in Jerry Jeudy and Cortland and stack him with Russell Wilson. But to me, it's all about the tight ends. Let's talk about the kickers and defenses really quick. Sometimes I blow them off because it warrants that. But today on Thursday Night Football, the kickers and defenses are going to play a massive role here. Chase McLaughlin, Colts kicker, he is 8.5 on FanDuel, and on DK, Chase is, let me look at that, $3,800. And Denver, 22nd, 23rd overall against kickers. I think Chase sees his fair share of extra points, a couple field goals, and we know in Denver, people are more likely to try those 50-plus yard field goals because the air is thin and the ball will travel a little bit better. When we look at the opposite side for Denver, Brandon Mcmanus, he's been around for a while. This guy's got a leg. This is his home field here. Brandon Mcmanus, $9,000 on FanDuel, only 4 grand on DK. As we talk about DSTs, Colts, Broncos, both have great little DVP matchups here, and it stinks that without the maniac Darius Leonard, the Colts, you have to kind of scale down the Colts and what they're going to do here. But I do see a case to be made for the Broncos here in the captain spot, in the MVP spot. No, I am not kidding, because of the pressure they're going to put on Matt Ryan, because of the way Matt Ryan has been playing. Yes, he's a seasoned vet. He's been in the league double-digit years, 10-plus years here, but that does not mean he can't throw an interception or a strip sack or, a pick six, something like that. I do firmly believe that the Broncos DST scores a touchdown tonight. So again, a case could be made for Mo Alley Cox at MVP captain spot. A case could be made for the Broncos DST at the MVP captain spot. The Broncos, $9,000 on FanDuel and on DK, if I haven't said it, $4,200. So that's what I have for you. Let's wrap this thing up in a little bow and we'll get the heck out of here. I have a few little notes in the corner. No JT, kicker DST combo, stack idea. No Javante, as I said. A Boone Hines combo. That is okay. So if you're going to build several lines, I'm not saying shark-ish kind of stuff, but if you're going to build 10 or 15 lines here, use that Boone and Hines combo. It is what it is. I have no issue with that. Ownership percentage, I think you can throw out on especially this single game slate. And if you're going to use Mo Alley Cox and the Broncos DST in captain MVP and swap them back out, I don't think ownership percentage will be your issue there. And one more guy I want to mention, and that's Dion Jackson, the Colts running back, who they brought up to see some playing time here. As I said, he's 7.5 on FanDuel, and on DK, I think he's like $1,200, $800, something like that here. So, before we get out of here, that's what I'm saying. Let's stack up the tight ends. Let's stack up the Broncos DST, and we'll mix and match. Dion Jackson, Mike Boone, maybe even a little Latavius Murray, and the Denver Broncos will win this game 24-17 in an eventful Thursday night game. It's not the star power of Mahomes, of Brady and Tampa Bay and all that, but this game will be fun in its own way. So before I split, make sure you get to the website. Use promo code Beastie. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services, and I will see you again for College Football Saturday. Be good, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.